Hey guys, so I just got back from seeing Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris, the big box office smash this past weekend. Yeah, that's a joke if you don't haven't figured that out. As I predicted, this weekend was a not a very big weekend as far as new movies because everything I think pretty much bombed. I think maybe Where the Crawdads Sing did all right, but everything else just pretty much bombed, including this one. And I this was I don't blame it. I mean, I'm not shocked by that because really this is one of those things that like I remember getting a trailer for it once, and that's about it. And I've seen advertisements here and there pop up, and I've seen the poster at the lobby at the theater, but that's about it. And like it's one of those movies that I get a trailer for one time, and then I see a few months later it's coming out, and like, oh yeah, I remember getting a trailer for that. And that's about it. And that's was the case with this one. It was the same with like Mr. Malcolm's List, and it's happened every so often. Usually I get a lot. It's kind of funny because I get a lot of the same trailers, but then there are trailers I only get once or twice, and that's it. It's very fucking weird. Like what trailers we get, and what trailers we don't get. Like I've gotten a DC Super Pets movie quite a bit nowadays, especially in front of kids' movies. But yeah, I didn't really know what to expect with this movie. I saw the cast and I was like, I recognize some names here and there, and especially one in particular. I was like, all right, this could be all right. And I see it's getting good reviews too. And you know what? After seeing a lot of not very good movies as of late, between Thor and Crawdad Sing and Paws of Fury, this was a fucking great pick me up because this was a fun fucking movie. I actually kind of enjoyed the hell out of this. And it's a movie that's not like it doesn't break new ground or anything. It's a pick me up kind of movie. It's a fairy tale esque movie, real life fairy tale like movie, modern day fairy tale. Actually, takes place in the 50s. Um, it has its cheesy, it's cliched, it's stuff I've seen done before in many movies. But you know what? I enjoyed it mainly because of, like the cast. The cast was very likable. That helps when you get a really good cast, especially the lead, the Leslie Manville, who's really fucking likable. It's about she plays this woman, Mrs. Harris, who no shot goes to Paris. Uh, Sorry, I had to go with that joke. Um, it's such a weird title, but I guess it's based off a book. I'll talk about that in a second, but more about that in a second. But she's this widow of a army of somebody who's died in World War II, which this movie takes place in 1956, and her husband died in 1944, and she had this letter that told of his death. Held on to it, I think, for like 12 years. That's what I gathered. Am I wrong in that? Somebody can tell me in the comments. And she is also a cleaning lady who comes across distress in one of her employer's closet that's from the Dior House of Dior in Paris, France, and she really likes distress, and she really wants to get a chance to get a Dior dress of her own, and wants to go to Paris to get a Dior dress of her own. And through circumstances, and her trying to save up some money, and some other circumstances, including some money that she got from her husband, she ends up going to Paris to Dior to buy a dress. Which, of course, there's hijinks here and there, but she's really fucking good and really likable. She is, yeah, a character you've seen in movies like this a lot before, where she's just like there to give like other characters advice, and she's like the outsider in this group of snooty, rich, proper, improper fashion people who some of them don't like her at first, but then there's the ones that have heart of gold that like her because she's an outsider, and some don't like her because she's an outsider, all stuff like that. And she's really likable. She's really fucking really likable and really likable lead. I loved her in this movie. I liked Isabella Huppert, which I only see her in the movies ever so often. Every time I see her in a movie, she's fucking great. Always great. It is not. This movie is a lot more of a palate cleanser than the last movie I saw in a theater by myself, with no one in a watching it with me, and that was Elle. If you ever seen that fucking movie, you know what I'm talking about. I was in the theater by myself. I have a review somewhere that's on my page about that movie. That movie is something else, but she's really good. She plays the snooty woman that runs this Dior House of Dior place, and she's in charge, and she doesn't like Leslie Manville and her, and her kind of taking over her place almost, this place, and winning the hearts of all of her employees and stuff like that. And she's the almost kind of like whatever put the best way. She's like Emily Blunt from the Devil Wears Prada. This movie reminded me a lot of The Devil Wears Prada, in that it has a lot of similar themes and similar things that happen. It's very predictable. There's the one guy that's in love with a model that works for Dior, and he's afraid to tell her, and she's secretly in love with him. And then, of course, the main character is trying to help them get together, and yada yada yada, giving them advice. And yeah, you've seen a lot of this shit before. It's nothing new, but it's carried by the acting in this movie, and the lead in this movie, Leslie Manville, is fucking great. And like I said, even people like Isabella Huppert, it's really fucking great. You got that one guy who played Draco Malfoy's dad. I didn't recognize him until I looked it up. Jason Isaacs, thank you. I just thought about that. Is in this as like a guy who kind of has a thing for Leslie Manville back in Britain. There's not a big name cast in this movie. It pretty much is, but it's all really well acted by pretty much everybody involved. I was worried at first that this movie kind of feels like it's almost ending an hour and a half into the movie, and it's only got a half hour left, and I'm like, where? I was like, what the hell? The movie keeps going and going and going, and at one point I thought they were going to go for a pretty downer of an ending. I was like, wow, I would not expected that, but I was kind of going to be pissed if it would have gone that route, because I was like, man, after all this fucking shit, after seeing this whole movie, what this woman goes through to try to get this damn dress, if that's the way you're going to end it, that's kind of sucks. But luckily, they kind of turn it around, which I should have expected with this kind of movie. But at first, I thought, oh man, are they actually going to go for that downer of an ending? But no, they don't. It's an uplifting movie. And you know what? In the world that we have lived in today, having an uplifting movie come out every so often, it's kind of nice. It's cheesy and it's cliche and stuff like that, but hey, it doesn't hurt having something like this come out every so often, have something like this, and it's, like I said, at least it's really well acted. That helps when it's really well acted, have likable characters. Apparently, this was before I hit record on this, I was looking, this movie's based off a book from the 50s. Apparently, that ending, that downer of an ending, is the ending to the book. I was like, wow. From what I can tell, somebody maybe read the book and maybe I'm wrong on that, let me know. But yeah, I was like, man, that's kind of That would have been kind of interesting if they really did go for that route. But yeah, it would have been like a bit of a downer of an ending after all that woman had been through. But yeah, I like I said, I liked the movie. I really thought it was fun. Is it like like something I would rush out to go see? Probably not. I mean, it's one of the better movies out there, and I'm sad it's not getting nobody saw it, but I do blame that probably on live didn't get a lot of publicity, and probably not a lot of people knew about it. So yeah, that's probably not mainly. It's probably the movie's fault, the studio's fault more than anything. And also releasing it in fucking July amid like big summer blockbusters that don't fucking help. But yeah, that's as far as Mrs. Harris goes to Paris. What's next week? Nope. The movie Nope is next week, so I'm hoping that like it turns everything around for the month of July with that fucking movie. I'm really looking forward to it. Until then, I will talk to you guys all later.